Hello and welcome to day 19 of Vlogmas. Is it 19? No, it's day 20. It's the 19th for me. It's day 20 for you guys. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. It's not going to be a full-on podcast, but it's also not going to be a vlog because I woke up with a really bad crick in my neck this morning, and I don't know if it's from just sleeping weird, because sometimes that happens, because I think I've talked about this before, but I have like a lingering neck injury from a car accident. So sometimes I just sleep on it funny and it aggravates it. Or it could be from trying to like do a lot of like moving things around yesterday, but either way it hurts really bad, and so I'm going to just take the day easy. So I don't think I'll have anything to vlog, and I promised you guys yesterday that I would show you my new yarn storage setup, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that, and I want to talk a little bit about my Make 9 for 2019. So we'll try and keep this short. Like I said, I don't want it to be a full podcast, but I've already rambled on for about a minute, so we'll try and keep it short. So if it seems like I'm speeding through, that's why. But anyway, so let's talk about my new yarn storage setup. So this is sort of what I'm working with right now because we don't have a ton of space, and I was sort of just using whatever Wesley had here. So let me go ahead and tilt this whole thing. Can I tilt you down? Come on. There we go. The tripod is a little bit sticky. Anyway, so what I am working with right now is this thing. So this is, I don't know if you guys can see, it's, how many drawers is it? 1, 2, 3, it's 6 drawers, and they're pretty small, but it turns out they're just tall enough to fit a skein of yarn sort of vertically. So this is what I'm using. Let me tilt the camera back up to me. Hey. So that's what I'm going to be using, and right now it basically holds pretty much my entire stash, minus a few things that are kind of like too tall to fit in there. So like things like this where it's like balled up yarn doesn't fit in very well. So I have, I think this and maybe like one more sort of gallon Ziploc bag like this full of yarn that won't fit in there. But otherwise everything is in there. So I'm going to show you guys that, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about my Make 9 and why I have quotes around it. So one drawer, which is entirely sort of like 50-gram sock yarn balls, which fits very nicely. There's 10 of those in here, including the Felici, I think, that I told you guys about that I bought a little while ago. And then I have another drawer, which is sort of, so this is sort of oddball sock yarn. So these are 2 more 50-gram skeins and then more 100-gram skeins. And then this entire drawer, hopefully I'll cut some of this out. This entire drawer is BFL sock yarn. And then the next drawer down I'm not going to take out because that's actually where I've just thrown all of my needles and stuff to kind of contain all of those. So that's mostly just needles and notions. Then the next drawer really should be the bottom drawer, so maybe I'll switch this out. But anyway, this drawer is all of my little tiny balls. Things that are, you know, not quite small enough for me to go ahead and put them in my, in like magic knot balls for the crochet blanket, but like they are not even 50-gram skeins. So that's that. And then the bottom drawer, non-sock yarn. So I have 2 skeins that are, so this skein and this skein, they're both like 100% superwash merino, but like there's no nylon, so I wouldn't use those for socks. This is the MCN skein. This is a skein of hand spun that I was gifted. And then this is actually 75-25 superwash merino nylon, but it's a really sort of more delicate 2-ply, so I wouldn't use that for socks. So that's the stash. Like I said, excluding, you know, like this bag and maybe like one more bag with some little bits in it. So, and I apologize if you guys hear a bunch of background noise. The trash truck just came to pick up the dumpster, so that's cool. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about my Make 9. So if you're unfamiliar with it, and I'm somewhat unfamiliar with it, but the Make 9 is basically just like sort of, I think it's very inspired by Instagram because 9 forms like a nice perfect square, but it's basically like picking out 9 things that you want to make, either, you know, knitting or sewing or whatever type of crafting you do in the next year. And so I've seen a lot of this on Instagram, people kind of reviewing their Make 9s from 2018 and then talking about their Make 9s for 2019. And a lot of these tend to be focused on garments or sort of like bigger projects. And Yeah, so that's not really the approach that I'm taking to it, because for one thing, I think I'm just coming to terms with the fact that like I'm not gonna be a garment knitter, like, and especially like at this stage in my life with like, you know, starting a new job and just like all the craziness that's coming, you know, in 2019. I don't think I want to be embarking on big projects. I'm not even sure that I want to be doing shawls and stuff right now, because even those seem really daunting. So I'm kind of focusing on more so like one skein projects. And what I really want to focus on is, instead of picking like nine things that I want to make, I looked through my stash before I sat down to record this, and I said, okay, here are 9 things in my stash that I want to use up, because I really would like to keep my stash limited to this sort of little small setup, right? I want to keep my stash small. And so since it's basically full right now, I need to use up some of my stash. So I'm not saying these are going to be the only 9 things I make in 2019. They certainly won't be. And they may not even be the first 9 things that I make, but these are 9 things that I want to make to use up parts of my stash. So the first thing is sort of it's not a single thing, like it's not going to use up a single skein, but I want to use pretty much all of these, and I think I have a couple other 50 gram, like I said, I have those other 50 gram skeins a couple other places, but I want to use up my 50 gram sock yarn skeins to make a bunch of short socks. I think those will come in really handy living somewhere where it's even warmer than Virginia. And I know that I can get a pair of short socks out of a 50 gram skein, so that's what I want to use the 50 gram skeins for. So those will be things that I just sort of pick up when it's like, I can't think of what else I want to do, but I want to knit something, bust out a pair of short socks. So that's my first on my make 9. The second thing, and some of these I haven't decided what I want to make, so I would love suggestions from some of you guys for things that I can make for some of the ones that I don't know. So the second thing that I want to use up, and I want to do this pretty early I think, is I want to use this skein of sock yarn. This is the Huntsville colorway, and it's inspired by the colors of the Saturn V rocket. And I want to use this because, you know, I think it'd be kind of special and fun to use it, you know, soon after I move here. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to make out of it. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, so I could make just a pair of vanilla socks, or I could make like a pair of short socks and a pair of like hand warmers. I just don't know what I want to make out of it. So any suggestions? It's highly variegated, so we'll see. But that's another one that I want to use up. That's number 2 on my list. Number 3 on my list is this skein of, this is Knit Pick Stroll Glimmer, I think. It's a Stellina base. I had been talking for a long time about making a rose candy out of this and another skein, and I still haven't finished my other rose candy, and like I said, I don't think the big projects are going to happen, but I want to use this. So this is another one that I don't know what I want to make out of it. I think maybe I'll make a hat out of it. Maybe just a sock head hat, maybe something basic like that, but I want to make something out of it that I could gift to someone else, because, you know, I really like this skein, but I'm not like super attached to it. So if I could make a gift, that would make it a lot easier. So I'm thinking maybe something like a hat. So that's that. That's number 3 on my list. Number 4 is another skein that I don't exactly have a plan for. This is a 75-25 superwash BFL nylon. This is got these really pretty speckles in it. This one might just become a pair of vanilla socks. Or maybe a hat, but I think it maybe is more suited to socks, because this particular BFL is not super duper soft. So like I made a viajante out of this, and like I don't mind it, but I wouldn't want to gift it to someone else. So maybe this will become socks or a hat. I don't know. But that's another one that I don't have a super specific plan for. So that's number 4. This is number 5. So this is, again, that same BFL base. This is that really orange one that I had been making the knee socks out of and then sort of abandoned. This one I think I'm going to make remake my pattern, the head sock. So I'm going to, just a basic 2x2 ribbed hat, I'm going to make that out of this. And again, that way I could gift it to someone. Like if I meet someone who happens to be a hunter or something, maybe they would want this. We'll see. But that's going to become just a basic hat. These 2 skeins, I have decided they are indeed going to become knee socks. I had sort of abandoned that idea for a while. They're going to be knee socks. So that's number 6. Number 7 is these 2 skeins, again, still on that BFL base. These were the 2 that they've been frogged a couple of times. So these again might become a pair of knee socks. Because again, it's not super next to skin soft, so I think maybe knee socks would be a good idea for these, but we'll see. So that's number, what was that? That's number 7. And then number 8 is, this is a really old one. So this is, if you guys have been around for a while, you'll know that I had dyed that, what I was calling the gradient. It was a 10 color gradient that went from this sort of darker blue to like a really light yellow green. It basically goes from this dark blue to this color. And so I didn't know what to do with it. I had sold off all the sets except for the set I kept for myself, and I just didn't know what to do with it, so I put it into a magic knot ball yesterday, and I think I'm going to make either a viajante or some other similar sort of bandana cowl kind of thing out of it, because this is a nice soft squishy yarn, and I think that'll be a good way to do that. So that's what that's going to be. So that's number 8. And then the last one on my sort of make 9 list is this skein of Knit Picks Capretta that I dyed up relatively recently. This is their MCN base. This one I think again is going to become a hat because it's not superwash. And I think I'm going to do the North Lights hat because that looks like it will be really pretty and work really well with sort of this subtle pink color. And whether I keep that one for myself or whether I find someone who is knit worthy enough and I think can take care of a non-superwash yarn, I don't know, but we'll see. So yeah, so like I said, that's not my entire stash, but it's a good chunk of it, and I feel like this is perhaps a make 9 that I can get behind a little bit more than like picking 9 projects and then being like, well, do I have the yarn for it or not? Like at this point, I'd rather go in the other direction and say like, okay, here's 9 things from my stash that I want to get rid of, or not get rid of, but like use up before I buy other stuff. Let's find some projects to fit this. So, all right, it looks like I'm gonna make it under the 15-minute mark, which is good. I didn't want this to get too long. Yeah, maybe I'll put some other clips in if I wind up doing anything interesting the rest of today. But like I said, I think I'm just gonna take it really easy, maybe watch some Christmas movies and enjoy the time off and enjoy the quiet until Wesley gets home later today. So that's gonna be possibly it for me today. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Chilling with my goose friends. There's seriously so many geese. I should probably get past them before one decides that it doesn't like me. Because, pro tip, geese are mean. Alright, run away! Current situation. We're back at the VW place. Wesley's here too.
Hi.
Picking up my car! So, I'm waiting for them to drive it in so we can do this big fuss with a bow and pictures and stuff. But I told them I would, so I get my car, so you'll see that. Behold, the giant bow, which from this angle completely blends into the car. Oh. I ruined it. I ruined it so hard. Oh, what a beauty. Can I step over this without tripping? Yes, yes I can.
I gotta say that the new backlights in general.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet looking.
Oh. That's all I got.
I got you.